Hello everyone, today I'm here to talk about spring reads. So spring is obviously here, which is one of my all-time favorite seasons. I mean, spring and fall, I could just live in forever. Unfortunately, my state does not like those seasons, so I don't get too much of them. But so far, it's been a pretty good spring. So I thought I would share with you some of my favorite spring reads. I apologize for the lighting, because the sun keeps going up and then down, so it might get overexposed and go back to normal. So just bear with the sun, because I can't control it. I do read a lot of contemporary in the spring and summer months. I don't know, when it's just warmer outside, I want to read a lot more lighter and just fluffier type of books. That's just how I am. I'm not saying everyone's like that, but that's just how I am. So all the books I will be talking about today are contemporary, and there are YA and adult contemporary mixed in this. So just to let you know, but they all are contemporary, so I'm sorry. That's just, I mean, to me, spring and summer, especially spring, just screams contemporary. That's just how I am. And I will do a summer reads, which will also be all contemporary as well, so don't worry. All the contemporary will go around on my channel very soon. So let's just get into it, because I do have a lot of books to talk about. The first book I want to talk about is the most heaviest book on my list. I'm not heavy in terms of like weight-wise, heavy in terms of it's pretty serious, but the movie's coming out soon, and it's such an amazing book that I thought I would put it, that I just had to put it on here. And that's Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. I read this last year. No, was it last year? Yes, I read this last year and it was one of my favorite books. Like I said, the movie's coming out. It's about a girl named Louisa who picks up a job to be a caretaker, just to brighten up this guy named Will's day. He has been in an accident, so he can't move at all from the neck down, and it's just all about that. It's a very serious, it's very romantic, but yet very serious and sad. But it's a great spring read, I think. I think it's also a sad read, so I have tissues, but I really enjoyed it. I just can't wait for the movie to come out, and I loved it so. I read this in the dead of winter, though. I don't know what that's saying. Another one from that author that I'm actually currently reading right now is 1+1. This is a lighter book for sure. Before You Broke Your Heart, you're like, I can't read any more Jojo Moyes books because I can't cry. I'm not done with this yet, so I don't know if it's gonna make me cry, but it's a lighter book. It's got some serious issues in it, but not as much as sadness and stuff as Me Before You. This is about a woman named Jess who's a single mother. She has a daughter that's a 10 named Tansy, who has amazing opportunity to go to this math school, and she has to come out with money, and her husband left her, and so she's a stepson, and now she has her daughter Tansy, and they have to go to Scotland for this big math tournament, and so happens to be a person that she cleans for, because she's a cleaner, because she's kind of a maid, drives her there, and it's all about that journey. I can't say it's the best book ever because I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's got a perfect mixture of family and humor and a little bit of serious in there. So 10 times lighter than Me Before You, but still really, really good. The next book I want to talk about actually hasn't even been released yet. As of filming, it will have been released, and I will actually have the copy, but it hasn't been released yet. It's kind of cheating because I haven't read the book, but I've heard so many good things about it, and the way the plot is, I really think I will like it. I hope I'm not punching myself in the face by saying that too early. And that's When We Collide by Emily Lord. I have read her 2 previous books. I really like them. They're not my favorite, but I think the plot of this one sounds so good. It's about a boy who loses his father, and he's got a lot of siblings, and his mother has gone into this deep depression cycle, so it's on him really to help take care of his siblings. They all have to come together and run their father's restaurant, and so it's all about them doing that. And this girl comes, and she's just so lively and full of energy, and it makes the boy forget, I'm sorry, I don't know the names because I don't have the book. Makes the boy, try to live life a little bit better, and I just heard really, really good things about it, so I'm putting it on the list. I hope that's okay. Am I cheating? Probably, but oh well. The last book that I'm going to talk about that I actually don't have a physical copy of, and that's because it's being lent out to a friend, and that is Saint Anything by Sarah Destin. I mean, come on guys. Whenever we talk about contemporary in this channel, Sarah Destin gotta be in it, because I love Sarah Destin. I know that. Probably the whole world knows that. That's how it goes. It's her most recent book, and it's actually one of my favorites of hers, and she's written a lot of books. This was such a good book. This is about a girl named Sydney whose brother goes to jail, and her family seems to think that, her brother's innocent and that, he didn't do anything wrong, but Sydney knows he did, and, she feels like she needs to be the one to atone for her family's actions. And then she meets this guy named Mac, who's in his father's like pizza shop, which was amazing. And it's all about the romance and all about, you know, her meeting new friends and just learning things. What I love about Sarah Dessen's books is that they're light, but they always have some sort of deeper meaning behind them. Say Anything is a perfect spring read because a lot of Sarah Dessen's books are summery to me, very summery. There's only a few that I'm like, they're spring word, like are springy. And Say Anything is definitely spring, and I love this book. I love it. So definitely check it out. Going on to something a little bit different. It's actually nonfiction. Ooh, intriguing. Are you intrigued? I know you are. And that is The Happiness Project by Gretchen Rubin. I've never really talked about this book on my channel. I read this a long time ago, like probably 3 or 4 years ago. And it's all about, it says, why I spent a year trying to sing in the morning, clean my closets, fight right, read Aristotle, and generally have more fun. This is all about a woman that has decided, you know, to tackle all the things in her life, like, you know, try to live a little bit more carefree, but then, you know, organize her closets. It's just a happiness project to make you more happy. I put this in the list because I'm considering rereading it again because I really love this book. It was very just, it made you think about happiness and made you want to do more things to be happy, because I feel like life, you get bogged down with things, me especially, and you get so stressed out and so caught up in the day-to-day activities of what you have to do and what you have to clean and what you have to, you know, work on. It just gets bogged down. So books like these really help lift my spirits and help me, you know, embrace, you know, the day-to-day life of just looking at the sunshine, enjoying a nice cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee. A nice cup of water in the morning, you know. I just really like this book. I definitely recommend you check it out. It's just an awesome book, and I mean, it's springy. It's so springy. Whenever I think about, like, you know, starting fresh, I always think, yes, January, but when spring comes, I just feel anew again. Does that make sense? Like, I just feel like the weather's nicer. It makes me want to blossom more as a person. Moving on, I have Amy and Roger's epic Detour by Morgan Matson. Oh, Morgan Matson. Sarah Dessen and Morgan Matson are like my two favorites in contemporary. I love them so. A girl named Amy, who her job is to drive her deceased dad's car cross country to where her and her mom are moving, but since her dad died in a car wreck, she has a fear of driving. So her mom enlists an old family friend that is around Amy's age named Roger, and he drives, and of course it's going on their epic detour. This book is just so much fun. There are playlists in the book, and actually Morgan Matson took the same road trip she wrote in this book in real life. And so all the playlists are her own playlists, and there's pictures in here, and they're all Morgan Matson's pictures, and they're just playlist, and it's just such an interactive, fun book. I love this book so much. It's definitely a spring-worthy read for sure. I've Got Your Number by Sophie Kinsella, my all-time favorite adult chick lit novel. Like, oh, this is my jam. I love this. I actually listened to this on audiobook. I highly recommend that. I also highly recommend reading it. Whatever you want, just read this book. It is so hilarious, so funny, and just so light. It's just such an awesome book. It's about a girl named Poppy who is engaged, and then one day she loses her engagement ring, and then somehow she gets in contact with this guy named Sam because she has his old assistant's phone, and it just gets all jumbled and stuff, but it's so fun, and Poppy is such an amazing character, and it'll make you laugh out loud. So I love this. Next up, we got My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick. This is a boy's secret in a summer. I thought this was in springtime. Well, this is all about a girl named Samantha who lives next door to the Garretts, and the Garretts are a wild and crazy family, and she feels drawn in particular to this one boy named Jace, and they form a romance, and it's just such a light, beautiful romance, and this is just one of the contemporaries that you could just get swept up in, and it just feels so lovey. It's one of those lovey-dovey ones, and I love those. Like, I could just read them for hours. So I can't say enough things. I will say I highly recommend all these books because I highly recommend them. They're awesome. Lovey-dovey in springtime. Yes, yes, yes. This book, I'm sure you all heard before, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fangirl by Ramble Roll. I'm not going to say too much about it because you probably already know about it. This takes place, you know, I don't know, it's like the whole school year, but to me, Fangirl is like, I feel like it can either be read more so in the fall or the spring. So I'm putting it in my spring reads because I feel like Fangirl, it's just a springy read. It's light, fun book. Definitely one of the latter ones that Ramble Roll has written, and it's awesome. It's an awesome book. I highly recommend it. I'll keep saying that. One book book that I actually just finished that I'm going to recommend is an adult contemporary, and that's What Alice Forgot by Liane Moriarty. This was a very, very fun, very awesome book, and I enjoyed it so much. This is literally what the title is, What Alice Forgot. So one day, Alice is just living her life. She's 29 years old. She's happily married to the love of her life, and she's pregnant with her first child. And then, she wakes up on the gym floor one day, and she realizes that she's 39, has 3 kids, and is getting a divorce. So she has forgotten the last 10 years of her life, and she's just trying to piece it back together. Now, that does sound serious. There's like an air of mystery to it. There's a slight air of mystery, but it's mostly fun. It's mostly about Alice trying to figure out, what happened in these 10 years. It's definitely not a downer book for sure. Alice has got a very quirky, fun, springish, I would say, type of personality that makes you fall in love with her, and she's just hilarious trying to figure out the last 10 years of her life. Like, why did she stop drinking? Why did she stop eating chocolate? What happened? Like, who would ever stop eating chocolate, Other than eating healthy, probably. But it's such a good book. I really loved it, and I really think it's a spring read. And the last 2 books I want to mention are actually a duology, and that is To All the Boys I Loved Before and P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. Like I said, this is a duology. It's about a girl named Laura Jean who she writes, with all the crushes in Laura Jean's life, she writes them a letter, telling them of her unrequited love, and then she addresses it and even puts a stamp on it, I think, then puts it in her bed, it's like, okay, crush over, I've written what I felt, I'm done. And then one day, she comes home to discover all those letters have been mailed, so she starts to get repercussions from that, and about 2 boys in particular. So if I describe this series, this duology in one word, it would be cutesy, for sure. It's all about her, learning how, to love and to know who's the right guy, and just all about that. It's all about growing up. And I feel it's just really, really cutesy, which I really enjoyed. I really think it's a spring type of read because cutesy stuff just makes me smile. So anyway, that was my spring reads books. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm sorry that they're all contemporary, but like I said, something about the warmer months makes me crave all of the contemporary in the world. Like, give them all to me. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click subscribe. It would make me oh so happy, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Take your time with me, and you did it